Hi, my name is Kyle Russell. Welcome to Arkansas Wushu, and let's go ahead and get started. Let's open up. All right, last few classes I did covered one form exclusively, so this time we're going to mix it up a little bit more. So let's start off warming up. Just going to hop forward and hop back 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay up on the balls of your foot. 5, 6. Don't let your heels down. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch sides. This time we're going to throw a jab when we jump forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Make that a 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Back to the other side. Let's add a knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, switch sides. Let's go ahead and do stretch kicks. We'll do these ones half height. We'll just do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, let's do ones out to the side. Again, we're just going to go halfway up for now and do 8 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go back to left leg back, right leg forward. Let's do 8 stretch kicks full height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, let's use a wall. Swing our leg out and up as high as we can. Get a little bit of momentum with it so we can get a bit of a stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, let's do a little bit of work on our basic kicks. And we'll do a couple of self-defenses. And we may pick up some weapons or some forms more towards the end. All right, so starting off, let's do the chamber, lifting the front leg. I want to drop down to 5 so that we can do a little bit more. All right, so 1, just lift the knee. Try to bring that in line with your solar plexus. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other leg, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so let's switch sides again. So I want to go to here, I want to stop here, I want to go out and back, and that's 1. I'm going to do that 5 times. Okay. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. All right. So now let's do that. The chamber going more into a roundhouse. So we're going to come up and bring our legs sideways. And then we'll go down from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. Same practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so now we're going to come up to where we're sideways. And if you have to, use the wall. I'm going to try not to, but I may have to lean against it occasionally. I want to throw that kick from there outward 5 times. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. Other side, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And down. All right. So let's go ahead and throw each one of those 2 kicks 5 times. So we're going to throw the front kick 5 times. We'll throw the roundhouse kick 5 times. Then we'll switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Roundhouse kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, roundhouse kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, let's do one more chamber, one more kick. My favorite is the side kick. So we're going to just turn our heel up towards what we want to kick, kind of lift our knee up high. It gives us almost that roundhouse chamber, but it's to the side rather than over here. We're right in front of us. Okay. So we're standing sideways. We turn up, and we'll push out and come back. Actually, let's turn the chamber and down 5 times first. 1, 2, 3. When you do this, try to line your shoulders, your butt and your heel all up into one line. 4 and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, let's switch sides. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw a side kick 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so let's move on to some techniques. First thing you want to do is kimono grab. I have a regular version of this, an advanced version of this, and I'm seeing the American Kempo version of this. So I kind of want to cover all three, show you the differences, see what kind of different kimono grabs there are out there. So I'm going to teach the first one I learned first. It's the most basic one. And kimono grab is off someone pushing you backwards. Kimono is the name of the Japanese top, if you don't already know that. They're grabbing that and pushing you backwards. So what you want to do is first off trap their wrist, right? They're pushing you with both hands, so you reach over one arm and grab the wrist of the other. This traps them and keeps them from getting away from you. Now that we've got them trapped, we step back and sink. This is going to make them change heights because they're pushing forward and then suddenly their hands are pulled down, pulls them off balance a little bit. Just changes things up, changing that height, changes the fight a little bit. Now as they come down, we're going to do an upper block. So we reach over, grab the wrist, step back, do an upper block underneath the arm. Hopefully you're hitting right behind the elbow, and that has the possibility of breaking the arm there. So you're going to trap, step back, and block up, almost like an upper block, but you're not going to be able to get all the way to the top. From there, you're going to circle around, bring your hand almost by your ear, and do a hammer fist down at a 45. You could argue it's an inward block either way, just to knock the hands out of the way. So you're trapping, setting that blocking, coming over, knocking the hands out of the way. Next, you want to do a chop and hit back to the throat and a kick to the groin. So after you grab, step back and break, knock the arms out of the way, turn that into a knife hand, hit back to the throat, cat back, kick to the groin. Make sure to keep your guard up and get away at the end. So let's go ahead and do that technique 5 times. 1, grab, step back, break, hammer fist. I like to do being a modified horse here. That way I can swing back into a bow stance as I chop, and then come easily back into a cat stance and kick to the groin. 2, all right, 3 more times. 3, 4, That's how you generate power, is by switching from a bow stance to a modified horse back to a bow. And that is the basic version of kimono grab that I was taught in what was called Chinese Kempo at the time, which Chuan Fan now. Now, later on, we have an advanced version of that and brown belt. So we're going to go ahead and go over that one too. Starting off, it's just the same. Nothing changes until after the kick. But when you kick the growing, we're making the assumption that the head's going to come forward and down. So as we step down, we do the elbow to the side of the head. After the elbow to the head, we do a hammer fist down to the growing. And the way I was taught is we actually grab the growing from there and rip back as we hit the throat. Try to grab collar of the shirt or whatever you can to keep them from falling and pull back to an eye strike. So you've got the whole kimono grab. Once you finish, you're going head, growing, grab, pull and hit the throat, grab the collar of the shirt into the eyes. So let's go ahead and do that 5 times. 1, grab, step back and upward block, bring the hand around and over to a downward block, chop back to the throat, cap back, kick, step down, elbow. You can turn into a full side horse when you do that elbow. Down to a hammer fist, grab with a tiger claw, squeeze and yank back as you do a chop to the throat, grab the shirt and pull back to strike the eyes. And then, of course, back to your fighting stance, ready for your next attacker. Okay. 5 times. Or sorry, that was 1. Now let's do 5. 1, block, down, chop, kick, elbow, hammer fist, tiger claw, chop, eye strike, down. And I use a graduated spear hand for my eye strike. You can just use one finger. I like this because it's a bit more stable. Okay. 2, break, remove arms, hit to the throat, kick to the growing, elbow to the temple, hammer fist, tiger claw, chop, eye strike, and back. 3, 4, and 5. Oops, sorry. I'm back to the basic version. All right. So those are the 2 versions that I learned from Chinese Kempo. In American Kempo, they do it a little differently. They still have this basic part of kimono grab down, and they still have the elbow. But they do a hammer fist turning into a reverse bow away and a rear kick to knock the opponent away. So we're going to go ahead and do that version 5 times too, just to cover all of our different versions of kimono grab. Okay. 1, grab, break, hammer fist, chop, kick, elbow, hammer fist, rear kick, and step away. 2, grab, you step back and break, knock the arms down, hit back to the throat, cap back and kick, step down with an elbow, hammer fist, rear kick behind you to get rid of the opponent. 3, all right, 4, and 5. Keep wanting to go forward because of the Chinese versions versus the American versions. which turns away. Okay, so let's move on to another technique. Another technique that I really like is called crashing elbows. It's probably around green belt. But it's going to be off of a right punch. I'll bring the dummy out so that you can kind of see how it works. So your opponent is either stepping into a right punch or throwing a wide right punch, overhand, whatever. So first thing you're going to do is step up left at a 45-degree angle and do a soft hand block. When you do this block, you can just push, but a lot of times what I like to do is come in straight and drop my elbow on my wrist into a bit of a palm strike. Just knocks the arm a little bit further over. Once that's knocked out of the way, this hip's loaded up, so I want to drive that elbow straight into the ribs. So they throw the punch, you step up, move the punch out of the way, elbow to the ribs. Now I want to step in, bringing my right foot close to my left foot, because the closer they are together, the faster I'm going to be able to pivot and spin. I want to spin right around to an elbow to the nose. So it's basically a 3-touch technique. 1, move the arm out of the way, touch them for the first time. 2, elbow as you step through. That's the second touch. And 3, elbow to the face. All right, so let's do that 5 times in the air. Want to step up, soft hand block, stepped up left, right foot back. I'm going to hit with the right elbow, step through, and come back with the left elbow. 2, block, elbow, bring the feet together, elbow. 3, step in, block, elbow, bring the feet together, and elbow. 4, step in, elbow through, and elbow back. And 5, step in, elbow through, elbow to the nose. Okay, if you're wondering, is there an advanced version of selective wrist clone grab? Yes, there is. So let's go ahead and do that advanced version. Actually, before we do the advanced version, just for practice, let's go ahead and do it on the other side too. I'm going to go ahead and use the dummy on this one. This is my non-dominant side, and I kind of like having something to look at. Okay, so if you don't have a dummy, just do it in the air, or use a partner if you can get someone to throw a left punch. 1, 2, 3, step in, soft hand block, elbow, bring the feet together, elbow. 4, step in, soft hand block, elbow, bring the feet together, and elbow. 1 more time. And 5. All right, so in the advanced version, let's say after we stepped in, we did that elbow, we still weren't confident that it took him down. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to step back. We're doing a ridge hand. I want to come underneath this arm, if I can. I want to hit that carotid artery with a ridge hand. Once that arm's there, that'll allow me to step behind for a triangle choke. If you've ever seen a jiu-jitsu or anything, you'll be familiar with what a triangle choke is. If not, this one is that technique. You're just coming under the arm, hitting the carotid artery, slipping up, pushing their arm up against their face, cutting their artery off with the other hand. You'll grab, take them off their feet, lay them down, and just put all the pressure you can into that lock until they go to sleep. It's a blood choke, so it shouldn't take too long. All right, so let's do that 5 times in the air. 1, I'm going to step in, soft hand block, elbow, elbow through, step back, turn into a bow stance with that strong ridge hand through, step up behind, grabbing that choke block. You want the shoulder on this side of your head, coming over your shoulder as you hip throw them to the ground, and you're going to choke them out from there. All right. 2, soft hand, 2 elbows, ridge hand, and you could just stay up and choke, but I recommend taking them down. 3, elbow, elbow, bridge hand, pull in as you step behind, and throw them over. I'm not going to go all the way down because of rim constrictions. 4, and 5. All right, so let's do the same thing on the other side. So 1, step up, soft hand block, elbow, elbow, bridge hand, count hand. Now I'll do it on the dummy so you can see it. 2, soft hand, elbow, elbow, step back. This arm's a little low, but I should be underneath it. Hit, and around the neck with your arm up above your shoulder. 3, should step the other foot. That way you can throw them over that hip. 4, and 5. All right, how are we doing? Okay. So let's do another real simple one. Want to do a hand safe. It's 3 techniques. It's just a soft hand block, an outward block. Again, with a soft hand, I like to use what they call sticky fingers. And sticky fingers is where whenever you slide down, you don't have to grab. Your fingers have this tendency to just stick through the friction of yanking, right? So I'm not really grabbing so much as I am just sticking to it. And as that occurs, I'm pulling in to either a knee to the rib and a round kick to the rib, depending on distance. So let's do that 5 times on each side. So we step up, soft hand block, outward block, pull down and kick. 1. One thing I like to do to speed this up sometimes, a little cheat, is I'll do an X block. That way whenever I come up, this hand's already, as soon as this hits the inward block, this one's in line for the outward block. And since both hands are moving simultaneously, it makes that technique just a little bit faster. 3, 4, and 5. Other side, same technique. 1, so it's inward block, outward block, round kick. 2, 3, 4, and 5. See, I used the X block on that last one. That's why it was right together. Let's do one more technique. One more simple one. This one's called the dart egg. It's a blue belt technique out of Chuan Fa. Real simple. Whatever hand they throw with, step back with that same hand and just pull down like that, right? So what happens is their hand comes down. And when it comes down, you're going to circle with your hand. So by being on the same side, that should come and circle the hand out away from their face. When it comes away from their face, it opens up that eye. So what we're going to do is circle that out of the way and dart straight back to the eye. Real simple technique, real quick, real effective. Let's do it 5 times. 1, circle, shoot fingers. 2, hit with your wrist, circle it out, shoot with your fingers. 3, 4, if you use a crane speak here, they'll throw their arm just a little bit further. I'm not sure why, but it's very effective. And 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so we'll move that back out of the way. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of weapons techniques just for fun of it. I'm going to start with the staff. We're going to take a basic technique and then see how many weapons that we can get it to work with, just to show you some variation. So we'll start off with something simple. So, if you think of basic karate, a lot of times you have a downward block or a punch, one of the first things you learn, right? Well, how can we use that with a weapon? When I use this weapon, I pull back to the hip and I throw that out like a punch. It's slightly modified because my hand's probably turned over, but it's basically a side strike. I can't go straight on unless I come overhead like that hammer fist possibly. And then I get that downward strike. But when I step in and punch, I just get this basic strike, right? So let's do that 3 times with a staff. I want to switch weapons and show you how that same principle works with different weapons. So all we're doing is a simple lunge punch. But we're doing it with the staff first. 1, and back. 2, and 3. Let's do it with the other side. 1. So as you pull this back and hit with the hip, the faster you pull back, the more power is going to be into the stick. 2, and 3. Okay, so what else can we use that? Well, we could use that with a cane. Same principle. For the fun of it, though, I'm going to bring it around this way. So when I step back, I have this hook that grabs people and pulls them towards me. Just give me that little bit of extra something because of changing weapons. All right. 1. Here, I have to adjust a little bit because the weapon's shorter, so I can't go all the way back to the hip. So instead, I pull back to the solar plexus. All right. 2, and 3. Other side. 1, 2, and 3. Great. So those are, let's use a lunge punch with 2-handed weapons. What if I have a 1-handed weapon? Well, let's take a look at the broadsword. So I can go straight out with it. So that just becomes a thrust. If you're not familiar with these flimsy broadswords, the reason they're flimsy like this is so that they pop when you do a proper thrust. If you do an incorrect thrust, you get that weak little sound. Whereas if you do a proper thrust, you get that pop. And your sword will tell on you if you're doing that technique right or wrong. Okay, so when I do that with a lunge punch, it's a little weak. I know I need more power. 1. Make sure you're putting full effort into your technique. So it's good to practice with a sword sometimes, if you can get one of these. 2, and 3. Other side. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we continue. Let's do that with a flexible weapon now. We've done it with a long weapon, we've done it with a short weapon, we've done it with 2-handed, we've done it with 1-handed. We haven't used a flexible weapon. So now if you're throwing a lunge punch, I would recommend holding it this way. This hand ready to swing this one. This hand ready to use this one like a stick. So here, again, you step in, lunge punch, and it just does a slight overhead strike. So let's do that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 5. Good. Other side. Same technique. All we're doing is a lunge punch. We just did a lunge punch in the air. We did a lunge punch with a bow. We did a lunge punch with a cane. We did a lunge punch with a broadsword. And we did a lunge punch with a 3-section. 1. Good lunge punch on that side. 2. 3. So that's where you find your weaknesses, is by using different weapons and seeing what you can do well and what you can't. 4. Obviously my left lunge punch needs a little work. And 5. Better. Alright. So let's do another technique and see how you would use it. Let's take the knife hand block. We'll do it 3 times in the air. One of the styles I was talking was Shotokan. So when we do a knife hand block in Shotokan, we typically touch the inside of the striking elbow, or the outside of the striking elbow to the inside of the chainring hand. Step up into a back stance, pull the chainring hand back to the solar plexus, and chop down with the hand. So let's do that 3 times on each side, and then we'll try it with our different weapons and see what it feels like and looks like. Okay, so 1, chamber, and up. 2, chamber, and 3, chamber. Other side, same thing. 1, make sure to touch those elbows, slide down and strike. 2, and 3. So let's pick up a staff. How would you do that with a bow staff? Well, typically when you're looking at a staff, you're going to want this one to come under and hit the waist. That's your chainring hand that's coming back to your solar plexus. It's going to be modified a little bit coming in, and the other hand is still going to be hitting like the knife hand. It'll spin over head whenever you need to change sides. So we'll hit left side, spin over right side, and then come back. And we'll do that 5 times on each. Well, 5 times. Okay. So chamber, left hand on top, right hand on bottom. Strike with the left knife hand. Let it switch. Bring your chamber over here. Step in. Strike. Come back however is comfortable and set it down. 1. And the other side. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Alright, so not too hard there. Okay, so let's take a look at the cane. Now we could do this a 2-handed way or a 1-handed way. I like to hit in close, because if we come in for a neck shot or something and we hit with that bar, we have that grab behind. Unless I hit with the other side, which even if I do, I have a grab from underneath. Love the cane, it's a brew weapon. If we want to do it more one-handed, we could come out with a strike. But we're going to save that for the sword. I want to do a 2-handed strike with the cane. Alright, so I will use the dummy and we'll do it just like that. Say we have someone coming up. They've grabbed your shoulder, right? So they're here. So you're going to bring this cane up in between you guys. Step forward. Hit over. Have your left hand on top, loading up for that knife hand block. And hit the side of the neck. And that will give you that pull if you step back. Okay? So it's 1, up, grab it, knock the arm over, knife hand, and pull. 2, 3, 4, Other side. We'll do it with spinning on the other side just to get that in. So 1, you could also spin up to your 9-point block and strike and come back down. 2, 3, 4. I like that way because as you see, I can come and get a hidden strike in there before I hit him there. And 5. Alright, so that's with the cane. Let's move on to the sword. This sword apparently wanted to volunteer, so we'll use it. So if we've got a wooden sword, this is the straight sword. It's only sharp on the tip. They keep these blunt, so we would want to hit with the edge. But same thing, step in, just like a cross cut, down at a 45. If you want to stop the sword, whenever you go down, that handle is going to touch your wrist, and that's what stops it. You got friction right there. So I bring the sword up and chop. And back down. 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so one more. Let's see how that works out with a flexible weapon. So I'll go ahead and pick up the 3-section staff again. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult because flexible weapons always are. I'm going to have to load up. And the trick there is to keep that chain close to the body. If it's far away from the body, that's when you come around and get hit. Whenever it's right next to the body, it may touch the body, but it's not going to hurt. Alright, so after you step in here, we're just swinging outward. I want to go a little further outward because it's hopefully they're going to stop it, but we want to go through a little bit. We've got flexibility in the weapon, so we need to follow through. We can't stop on target. So, 2. I've got to be real careful because I don't have much room in here. 3, 4, and 5. Now, after you swing out, you may want to go away from the body a little bit. If you're using one of these, the trick is, if you're losing control of it, just hit the floor with that side to kind of stop it. Alright, so let's do that same technique on the other side. 1, chamber, strike. You can slow that down if you need to. 2, so I can chamber and strike. 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so anytime you want to learn a new weapon, just remember you probably already know a few things. Just go through your basics and see what fits up. Alright, so to end off, let's do a couple of forms. In the last class, I did Lian Hunshin. I made a few mistakes, so I kind of want to correct it. I'm not going to go through everything step by step like we did last time, but we'll do the first 3 steps 3 times and then we'll add. So our first 3 steps, we want to look left, bring our block up, do a hanging fist and punch. So that 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so this should be a bow stance here. From our bow stance, we'll do a kick and punch, and we'll step in with a flat punch. In my last class, I said to do an upper block at the same time. That's from doing Woo Woo Chin. It is not in the Hanwha Chin. So my mistake. Sorry about that. Let's correct that. And we'll go ahead and add the punch kick, flat punch, and we'll bring it to here and back fist as we stomp down. From the other side, that's here, circling around, slam the fist down. Okay? So one, look left, step up like you're doing an inward block, and do a hanging punch, followed by a flat punch, kick and punch at the same time, step in, flat punch. Bring it up, slam the fist to the back of the hand. All right, 2. And 3. Okay, so from that slam down on the fist, should be in kind of a bent knee stance. So we're going to jump up, do a hop change into a horse stance, and then we do an upper block and palm heel outwards. So from here, horse stance, palm heel, high block. Right? You step up, bring the hands to the waist, double palm heel. So that 3 times. 1, look left, prepare, hanging punch, flat punch. Kick and punch, step in, flat punch. Back fist, hop change, pushing out, step up into a bow stance, right palm heel, left palm heel. 2. And 3. Okay, from there, go ahead and swing that back and swing this hand over as you come down into a drop stance. As you stand up, scoop this hand under into a palm heel. I'm going to go ahead and finish this first half. Should be in a bow stance. This hand's in a hook hand behind you as you're doing your palm heel. Do a slap kick. So bring this foot up as high as you can. Slap it with your hand. Step down. High block, palm heel. Dip to there 3 times. 1. Two, I'll explain it a little bit better on 2. 2. I didn't explain it at all, did I? I'm sorry. Try again on 3. And 3. Look left, step up and prepare, hanging block, flat punch, kick and punch, step in, punch to the side, come in, hammer fist, hop change, high block and palm heel, step in, 2 palm heels, scoop outward, circle the right hand up, drop into a drop stance, hook underneath, pull back, palm heel, swing the left foot up, slap, step down, high block, and palm heel. All right, and that is the first half of Liang Chin. I will go ahead and perform that whole form for you once, just in case you want to see what it looks like. So let's go ahead and cool down a little bit. Spread legs twice, length your shoulders, grab your elbows, hang down. Over to your left side. Over to your right side. Bring that leg in a little bit and bend it down. Same thing on the other side. Just bring that foot up and try to push it down even further. And on the other side. Try to bring that out as much as you can with your toes forward. Hold that for a second. Turn your toes upward and let that go out further if you can. Go ahead and sit back, lean forward, and try to rest your forearms on the ground. And over to your right. And over to your left. Now let's come up and finish off with just a couple of quick breathing exercises, and then we'll close out. So we're going to breathe in, hold as we push up, breathe out as we let it come down. Let's do it again. Three more times. You want to go up enough where you can feel your spine stretch a little bit. Two. And three. All right, that's good for today. So we'll go ahead and close out there. Thank you for watching. If you don't already know, I teach a free live class every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube. I try to do these live at 7 p.m. on Central. If nothing comes up, I'll be here doing it. I'm trained in Wushu, Sanshou, Kempo, Chuan Fa, and Shotokan. I also have dabbled in numerous other styles. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Ask me whatever you want to ask me. Feel free to comment below. Please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow for an endurance workout, because throughout the month of January, I'm doing an endurance workout every day and uploading it to YouTube. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays is the live class. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.